I don't get it. I don't understand exactly what I'm seeing here. I feel like I've heard that this type of thing happens in the WWE, or it has happened in the past, but this is the first time I've been a part of a build up and watching all the way through a build up to a PLE, and I just can't wrap my head around what exactly is going on here. There is something about this crown jewel build up and this crown jewel title situation that just, it doesn't sit right for me. And part of how I'm feeling, it kind of resembles what I feel like I've heard talked about in the past, and I want to talk about that. But first, the main thing that is bothering me, and I don't really make videos like this, by the way, but like I can't really find much good to talk about with Crown Jewel, but I feel like this needs to be said, or at least I want to get it off of my chest. But the main thing that's bothering me is I feel like I'm being gaslit week after week after week, being told how important and prestigious this eyesore is. First of all, like, listen, I know everything is for someone, but this title doesn't even look anything like anything else that I don't think I've ever seen in any wrestling promotion so far. It looks like a parody. It looks like a joke of a title. It literally looks like it's meant to make fun of titles, like as if you're implying like, oh my God, look how silly these are. That's beside the point though. I'm not even going to worry too much about how it looks, but it's the fact that I have people like Cody Rhodes and other wrestlers pointing at this title and telling me how important it is, telling me how much I need to care about this title because it's extremely important, when it seems like this title is only going to matter for about 3 to 4 hours, probably 3 hours. Like, there's no shot whoever wins this title is going to wear it around WWE, maybe for like a week, maybe the first week after to like show it off or something like that. But whoever wins it is going to already have a WWE title, and they're not going to walk around with their heavyweight title and their crown jewel, just massive thing of diamonds. Being told like how expensive it is, it's got so many diamonds, it's worth so much. Who is that for? Who is the target audience there? It doesn't feel like this fits any other buildup I have ever seen. I mean, the closest could have been like King of the Ring, but that's really not even close. That was really just because they had a big shiny diamond covered crown, but there was something on the line there. There was a title on the line. If you could win that crown, you were getting a title shot at SummerSlam. So it's not even comparable. So this is the part where I have to ask, is this at all similar to what you guys would have felt back when you were watching Roman Reigns in the 2010s, when he was being forced down your throat as a babyface, being told he's one thing, but to you and everybody else watching, he was completely different, and he just wasn't it. I only ask because that is the common thing that I have heard that even sounds remotely like how I'm feeling. This is the first time I feel like everybody on the show is just collectively gaslighting me into thinking that this is something that it's just not. And I'm not even, like, I know I'm new to watching wrestling, but I still feel like I've gotten a decent grasp of what the buildup between shows feels like. And this feels like such a throwaway. This feels like it's like the house show of PLEs. And I can't express this enough. I don't make like mad videos like this. I don't really make videos about me trashing something. But I think the thing that just drives me nuts about this is that it really felt like when Triple H was making an announcement and you saw a title under a sheet, didn't it finally feel like we were getting a mid-card women's title? Like, I get it. Not all of you want that, but I do. And I know there's a lot of other people that do. And those that saw that, I was convinced 100%. I saw it there and I thought for sure this was going to be an announcement that we are finally giving the women's division a mid-card title, something that they definitely deserve, in my opinion. It definitely has the talent to utilize that. And then instead, we just get this gaudy joke. Please tell me if this is even remotely, I'm not saying as bad, because I know with Roman, it was over a much longer period of time, so don't misunderstand my question. I'm more just asking, is this, even in this short period, is that how it felt, where WWE was essentially telling you one thing, but everybody collectively, or the majority, is just feeling something totally different, but they're just not listening, and week after week, it's just what they say goes, and what they say is true is just true. On a side note, if you're not already on the Patreon, I highly recommend you check it out at this point. It couldn't be a better time. We're putting out so many watch alongs. Me and my fiance Tally do watch alongs on the Patreon of a bunch of old matches that you guys submit. Any patron can watch all of the watch alongs, but the higher tier patrons actually get to pick every single month which matches we go through and which ones we watch. It's been a great way for her and I to learn wrestling, learn the history of a lot of these wrestlers, and see a bunch of wrestlers that we've never actually heard of before, but now we understand references that we didn't. Tally and I also have a podcast that goes there every month that you guys get to participate in if you choose to. The Patreon is just an extremely active and close-knit community at this point, and I invite you to check it out. The link will be down below. Let's go back to the video. Now, I've seen the hate online. I've seen all of the stuff on Twitter, X, or whatever, which, by the way, I feel like now that I'm like more involved in it and I'm spending more time on Twitter than I used to, I'm seeing a very dark side of the internet wrestling community that I am not a fan of, and I'm trying to avoid it, but it's just there. But the thing that I'm seeing the most with it that I disagree with is saying that this whole event is just going to bury champions. And I think that's where I disagree. I'm not against the idea of Crown Jewel. I'm not against the idea of champions facing each other. That's not my issue. I've seen a lot of people say that if Gunther beats Cody or vice versa, and the same thing with the women's title, that it's going to bury a champion and make a champion feel lesser. It's going to make that title feel like it is the inferior title. I just don't think it's that simple. I like to look at wrestling with a little bit more nuance and just say, hey, two wrestlers are going to wrestle. Even if they're like equals, someone's going to win. It doesn't mean that one gets buried. Oh man, have I gotten tired of hearing that word. But I genuinely believe that if Gunther beat Cody and it was a great match and they made something out of it where he caught, I don't know, maybe Cody sucks at getting out of submissions or something. Gunther's been winning a lot with the sleeper hold. I'm just saying, if Gunther actually won, it wouldn't kill it for me. Like, I wouldn't suddenly think less of Cody or his title. If you would, maybe that's a you problem. I don't know. I see it as two great wrestlers that are both title holders in the WWE going at it. I feel like either one of them should be able to win on any given day. It's no different than every other sport that I watch. The best team in the league doesn't win every week. It's just how it is, and it makes it more exciting. But the problem I do have is that I worry that the WWE is going to take the same approach and have the same worry that some of you might have. Maybe they don't want to give off the impression that one of the titles is lesser, and they don't want one of the champions to look like they're getting buried. I don't think it would, but I'm a little worried that they might see it that way, and they might take the easy way out on both of the matches. I'm worried we're just going to see two title matches that could be big, two title versus title matches rather, that could be really exciting to see, and in both cases they take some sort of interference or some sort of easy way out to make it so no one has to lose. I'm just not a fan of having to make it feel like, all right, let's get out of this with nobody losing so everybody looks good. I just feel like there's ways to make, I think you can lose and look good. I've seen it plenty of times already. I've already seen the rumors online that I don't know if this is even remotely true, but I've seen the rumors go around. I've seen some of the bigger creators share it as well, that Goldberg could potentially interfere and cause Gunther to lose, which I don't know how to feel about that. I feel like a longtime viewer might have a better opinion. I'd love to know what you would think if something like that happened. But if that's their way of just having Gunther and Cody put on a good match and just skip having there be a definitive ending, have Goldberg spear Gunther or something and Cody takes advantage of the situation, I don't really think I would like that much. I mean, maybe it could be entertaining, but I just feel like in a situation like this, I'm excited to see two champions go at it, and I feel like that's just a cheap and easy way out of actually having to come up with something creative that makes all parties look good. Same thing with the women's title, although I could see that being interesting. Can you imagine if Tiffy cashed in on that match and suddenly like all three titles are technically on the line and she walked out with 3 titles? That would be pretty incredible. I'll give you that. If she does that successfully, that would be pretty incredible. But what are the chances of her even cashing in? Wouldn't she have to go for both titles at that point? I mean, do you really think that they would put 2 titles together on someone already? I don't know. Like, I think the only interesting way to kind of do what we were talking about with the men's one, where someone interferes so that both people look good, would be a cash in this case. But I don't see them putting, I mean, unless it's a failed cash in, but that doesn't sound very exciting either. More realistically, you're probably looking at a situation where Raquel is the one interfering, but got, like, if that's how we're going to do this and we're not going to have two champions really duke it out and see who's better, I mean, what's the point? What's the point of any of it at that point? And then you're going to have this, that means both people that would be winning these matches would be winning this big, expensive, prestigious title, this crown jewel title, both off of shenanigans. And at that point, it's not even definitive. It wouldn't even feel satisfying, even if you liked that new title. Like, if that's the way we're gonna go with it, then what even is the point? And I know at this point I'm complaining about something that hasn't happened yet, but I've seen it so much, and I kind of believe, as much as I don't think that it would matter, and I could totally willingly see both of those matches just have a clear-cut loser, I'm getting more and more nervous with how the buildup has been going and how they've actually been telling the story week to week. I'm more and more worried they're just going to take the easy way out. And then at that point, is this just the house show of PLEs? Is this just a PLE you have to accept is nothing, is kind of lame? Is this how Saudi shows just are? I don't remember Crown Jewel feeling like this last year, but to be fair, there wasn't a title like this that made it kind of weird. It made it kind of awkward. I mean, honest, I don't remember much about the Crown Jewel show at all. The more I look back at it, I guess that maybe shows that I guess it wasn't that important. This is all just putting aside the fact that I feel like it's weird that the women have to dress differently, and there's this weird thing where I guess the Saudi crowd doesn't like women, and maybe that's a big reason why we were never going to get a mid-card title announced. Can you imagine how much like it would feel like there was progress with the Saudi crowd and women's wrestling, or just women in general, if they were the ones to host a new women's champion? Like, I feel like that would have been huge. I feel like it would have been a massive step forward, but I've said that a few places and people seem to agree with me, but it's like, it's Saudi, there's no shot. They were just never going to do it. The more I talk about it, it really feels like I'm just going to have to suck it up for a month and just kind of wait for this period to be over and get back on track with Survivor Series. But I really, the main question was, is this how you felt with Roman? Is it, I know it's not a one-to-one. I understand it's very different. The Roman situation was over a much longer period of time than this 1 month with Crown Jewel. But I'm taking a small sliver and just seeing if that example fits. Is it just a situation where you just have to let them do what they need to do, lie to you, essentially gaslight you into trying to make you feel a certain way that you definitely don't feel about a title that definitely doesn't matter, but they want to tell you how amazing and expensive and fantastic it is? Is this all so that the check clears? And I know Saudi Arabia has apparently paid a lot of money to get these shows, and I'm assuming it sounds like they get a lot of say in what happens with their shows from what I've heard from the past. Is that all this is? Is this just they paid for it? They want this title to be there. They want it to feel cool. It makes me wonder how the Saudi crowd feels about the title. Like, do you like, maybe there's some of you that might be watching, but I'm curious what you think about it. Is there any shot that the Saudi crowd is going to go nuts for this new title? Or do you think they're looking at it like, what? Like the same way we kind of are, where it feels like it's just a house show PLE. I'm hoping I'm wrong, and I really feel like it's a little bit of the internet wrestling community that's kind of gotten under my skin, that's kind of making me look at this a little more negatively than I normally would. And that's on me. That's something I feel like I probably need to stay off it a little bit. I've been warned a lot about it. It wasn't so bad when I first started, but it's gotten bad. I mean, I'm still going to be optimistic and just hope that they put on a couple of good matches, because there's going to be big names in those matches. And I just hope I don't have to make a review video on it that is just a complete and total bummer. But I will be streaming it live on YouTube. I know I'm not streaming the weekly shows anymore, but that was more something that I was just trying out. I might stream a weekly show once in a while, but I want to keep being able to record videos and make more content from the Patreon and stuff like that. So I'll definitely be doing the PLEs and AEW pay-per-view still going forward. But those are all my thoughts on that one. I'm very excited to talk to you guys about it down in either the comments, or make sure you join the Discord. We have a Discord filled with people all around the world at this point. I'm not even joking. There's wrestling discussion going on 24 hours a day, because people all around the world are in there. You could be a fan of any show. You could be a WWE fan, AEW, New Japan, TNA, MLP, MLW, whatever is out there. You could be a fan of whatever, and you can discuss it in the Discord. Toxicity just isn't approved. It's not allowed. You get kicked out. It's just a place to be friends and just talk about wrestling. So if you want to be a part of that, check out the Discord, check out the Patreon. There's free content over there. Then you can always upgrade later. Thank you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the Patreons that are going up on the screen, and I will see you guys in the next video.